A Christmas Story has warmed hearts since its 1983 release, becoming a cherished holiday classic filled with nostalgia, quirky humor, and unforgettable childhood chaos. For generations, fans have watched Ralphie dream of his Red Ryder BB gun, laughed at the iconic leg lamp, and relived the timeless magic of growing up in the 1940s. Now, decades later, curiosity continues to grow around the young cast who brought these beloved moments to life. How have Ralphie Flick Schwartz and the rest of the gang changed over the years? From surprising career paths and behind-the-scenes stories to remarkable transformations that might shock longtime viewers, the cast's real-life journeys are as captivating as the film itself. Join us as we revisit the stars of A Christmas Story then and now, and rediscover why this holiday favorite remains an enduring piece of movie history. Darren McGavin portrayed the Old Man Parker, Ralphie's gruff, temperamental, yet ultimately loving and dedicated father, starring in the film A Christmas Story, 1983. McGavin was 61 years old when he took on the role of the working-class patriarch. The old man was characterized by his intense focus on minor domestic battles from the furnace to the car, his dramatic bursts of temper often expressed in swearing like a furnace, and his overwhelming pride in his small domestic victories. His life, set against the backdrop of Depression-era Indiana in the 1940s, was dedicated to providing for his family a pursuit that manifested in a relentless focus on material successes, like winning the elusive Major Award, the infamous leg lamp, establishing him as a man whose masculinity was tied to his ability to conquer small suburban challenges. His character is perhaps best remembered for the central, hilarious subplot involving the hideous but treasured Major Award leg lamp, which he triumphantly displays in the front window, symbolizing his unique and colorful personality. Darren McGavin had a long and varied career, achieving fame in television for roles in series like Kolchak the Night Stalker and Mike Hammer. Sadly, Darren McGavin passed away on February 25, 2006, at the age of 83 due to complications from cardiovascular illness. His iconic, boisterous performance is central to the film's enduring legacy, perfectly capturing the loud, eccentric, yet deeply sentimental spirit of a 1940s father. R.D. Robb portrayed Schwartz, the very friend who audaciously issued the infamous triple dog dare to Flick, another of Ralphie Parker's essential close friends and loyal confidants, starring in the holiday classic film A Christmas Story, 1983. Robb was 13 years old when he played the supporting role. Schwartz was characterized by his assertive nature, his active participation in the group's schemes and adventures, and his role as the primary instigator of the escalating youthful mischief and challenges that profoundly fueled the boys' escapades throughout the highly anticipated holiday season. His life was deeply rooted in the tight-knit, imaginative, and somewhat confined world of 1940s American childhood, focused on navigating school, avoiding local bullies, and spending countless hours with his friends, planning and executing various small acts of defiance and fun, firmly establishing him as a crucial driving member of the childhood camaraderie. Schwartz's role added necessary energy, humor, and a sense of underlying mischievous chaos to the group dynamic, helping to paint a complete and authentic picture of the innocence and sometimes startling cruelty and unpredictability of boyhood friendships. He is integral to several key moments, most notably the flagpole dare, that defines Flick's scene, and the collective excitement and scheming surrounding Ralphie's fervent desire for his official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle. R.D. Robb, currently 55, pursued a successful career in both acting and behind-the-scenes work in Hollywood, including directing and producing in later years. His enduring role in A Christmas Story helps to ground the film in authentic depictions of childhood friendship and the palpable shared joy of navigating the world alongside trusted companions. Melinda Dillon played Mother Parker, the deeply caring, fiercely protective, and often subtly exasperated matriarch of the Parker family, starring in the iconic holiday film A Christmas Story, 1983. Dillon was 44 years old when she took on the central role of Ralphie's mother. Mother Parker was characterized by her gentle yet firm presence, her tireless effort to maintain a semblance of domestic order amidst the humorous chaos created by her husband and sons, and her consistent role as the emotional mediator within the household. Her life set in the 1940s middle-class American Midwest was defined by the traditional duties of a devoted homemaker, focusing intensely on the well-being of her children, mediating the frequent conflicts instigated by her husband's temper, and subtly guiding her son Ralphie through his often outlandish holiday obsessions, providing the necessary warmth and stability. Her character often acted as the voice of reason and restraint, gently but firmly asserting boundaries such as confining Randy to eating like a pig and insisting on a nice Christmas dinner, thereby balancing the cartoonish energy of her husband and the imaginative desires of her children. Melinda Dillon had a highly distinguished career in film, earning 2 Academy Award nominations for her roles in Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Absence of Malice. Sadly, Melinda Dillon passed away on January 9, 2023, at the age of 83 due to natural causes. Her performance provided the essential emotional grounding for the film's nostalgic humor. Peter Billingsley portrayed Ralphie Parker, the wide-eyed, imaginative, and intensely motivated young boy whose single-minded holiday obsession drives the entire narrative, starring in the film A Christmas Story 1983. Billingsley was 12 years old when he took on the central role. Ralphie remains an iconic cinematic figure, characterized by his earnest pursuit of the perfect Christmas gift, the official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle, and his rich, often hilarious inner fantasy life, which is voiced through the film's famous narration. His life, set in the nostalgic glow of the 1940s American Midwest, was a typical blend of school friends, family chaos, and the powerful, all-consuming desires of boyhood, establishing him as a keenly observant protagonist whose internal musings and dramatic reactions anchor the film's blend of comedy and nostalgia. Ralphie's character arc is defined by his continuous, increasingly desperate attempts to convince every authority figure in his life, his mother, his teacher, and even Santa Claus, that he absolutely needs the BB gun, only to be met with the famous warning, "You'll shoot your eye out." Peter Billingsley, currently 54, transitioned successfully from a child actor to a career behind the camera as a successful producer and director with credits, including Iron Man and Couples Retreat. His performance as Ralphie provides the enduring, nostalgic lens through which the audience experiences the chaotic, yet deeply loving nature of the Parker family holiday tradition. Scott Schwartz played Flick, one of Ralphie Parker's loyal friends and classmates, whose deeply memorable, albeit excruciatingly painful encounter with the Midwestern winter cold became one of the most iconic and frequently referenced moments in cinematic holiday history, starring in the film A Christmas Story 1983. Schwartz was 15 years old when he took on the role of the brave, perhaps foolishly adventurous boy. Flick was characterized by his strong adherence to the unbreakable social codes of childhood, dares, his innate willingness to take risks, and his full immersion in the typical mischief and camaraderie that defined Ralphie's 1940s childhood existence in Homan, Indiana. His life before the infamous career-defining incident was typical of a young American boy in the pre-World War II middle-class Midwest, focused on school neighborhood adventures and the critical importance of playground hierarchy, establishing him as a crucial member of Ralphie's core group, defined by shared secrets, adolescent challenges, and mutual support. Flick's pivotal scene involves him fatefully accepting a notorious triple dog dare from his friend Schwartz to press his tongue firmly against a frozen flagpole on a brutally frigid winter day, a moment that ends in immediate painful disaster, with his tongue firmly stuck, necessitating a hilarious and slightly embarrassing rescue operation by the local fire department and police. This incident perfectly encapsulates the film's unique, successful blend of nostalgic innocence and slapstick humor. Scott Schwartz, currently 55, continued acting in various roles after the film, though he remains permanently and instantly associated with the instantly recognizable frozen image of Flick stuck to the pole. His enduring, resonant role contributes immensely to the film's legacy, powerfully representing the innocent foolhardiness and critical peer pressure inherent in growing up. Colin Fox played Ming the Merciless, the classically theatrical science fiction villain appearing as the primary, highly dramatic antagonist in Ralphie Parker's vivid, often melodramatic fantasy sequences, starring in the unforgettable film A Christmas Story, 1983. Fox was 46 years old when he took on the theatrical, yet brief and potent role. Ming the Merciless was instantly characterized by his extravagant villainy, his high-stakes determination to foil Ralphie's heroic efforts, and his overall embodiment of the dramatic comic book style of adventure that permeated Ralphie's rich inner world and early 1940s popular culture imagination. His life before the film was dedicated to a strong, steady career in acting, particularly within Canadian television and regional theater, establishing him as a versatile performer capable of projecting the necessary theatricality and exaggerated foreign villainy required by Ralphie's dramatic daydreams, which drew heavily from adventure serials of the era. Fox's crucial, albeit brief cameo added a necessary playful and deeply imaginative touch to Ralphie's internal narrative, providing key visual representation of the dramatic, complex inner life of a 1940s boy whose world was fueled by comic strips, radio serials, and Hollywood adventure films. The fantasy sequences, including the appearances by Ming, were absolutely essential to the film's unique structure, providing a vital break from the domestic realism and allowing the audience direct humorous access to Ralphie's dramatic, over-the-top desires and fears regarding his quest for the perfect gift. Colin Fox, currently 88, has maintained a long and successful career in Canadian and American film and television. His theatrical portrayal perfectly captured the spirit of the pulp villains that shaped the childhood fantasies of the era, firmly embedding the film in its period setting. Zach Ward played Scut Farkus, the perpetually menacing neighborhood bully with the infamous yellow eyes and a coonskin cap, starring in the iconic holiday film A Christmas Story, 1983. Ward was 13 years old when he took on the role of the antagonist who terrorized Ralphie and his friends. Scut Farkus was characterized by his aggressive dominance, his penchant for petty cruelty, and his status as the inevitable childhood fear figure, making him one of the most memorable and instantly recognizable childhood villains in cinematic history. His life before becoming the neighborhood terror was rooted in a volatile mix of boredom and aggression, typical of a certain type of bully whose power was derived from the fear he instilled in younger, smaller children, establishing him as the external physical threat the boys constantly sought to avoid and eventually overcome. Farkus's primary role in the narrative was to serve as the external antagonist, providing the climax to Ralphie's mounting frustrations and setting the stage for Ralphie's eventual cathartic breakdown, where he finally fights back a moment that symbolically marked Ralphie's transition away from being a passive victim. Zach Ward, currently 55, has maintained an active career in acting, appearing in numerous films and television series, though his legacy remains inextricably linked to the image of Scut Farkus. His enduring portrayal perfectly captures the universal memory of the dreaded neighborhood tyrant who ruled the playground and the walk home from school. Ian Petrella portrayed Randy Parker, Ralphie's younger, oft-whining brother, and frequently exasperating yet constant companion in their childhood antics, starring in the iconic film A Christmas Story, 1983. Petrella was 8 years old when he took on the central supporting role. Randy is one of the most beloved and memorable elements of the film, instantly characterized by his exaggerated whiny antics, his profound struggles with the overprotective bulky layers of winter clothing his mother insisted upon, which famously led to the enduring comedic line, "I can't put my arms down," and his general comic innocence that both annoyed and profoundly endeared him to his older brother. His life, typical of a younger sibling in the 1940s, was characterized by an intense dependence on his mother, a constant, often irritating presence in Ralphie's life, and a tendency toward retreating into his own imaginative world, such as hiding dramatically under the kitchen sink whenever family tensions or the chaos of his father's temper arose, firmly establishing him as the ultimate embodiment of comic childhood vulnerability and sibling exasperation. Randy's struggles with the simple acts of eating dressing and navigating the world added significant physical comedy and a contrasting form of innocence to Ralphie's more complex, wish-driven anxieties and schemes. Ian Petrella, currently 50, has since explored careers as a puppeteer and animator, occasionally and enthusiastically reprising his beloved role. His performance perfectly captured the exasperating yet utterly lovable nature of a younger brother, providing endless humorous scenarios that contribute to the film's chaotic yet deeply loving family environment. Bob Clark, the director and co-writer of the film, appeared in a small yet memorable cameo role as Swede, the neighbor who helps the old man Parker fix his perpetually malfunctioning furnace, starring in the film A Christmas Story, 1983. Clark was 44 years old when he took on the minor role. Swede was characterized by his patient, supportive, and grounded presence, serving as a fellow adult who shared the struggles of home ownership and domestic chaos with the old man. His life was rooted in the domestic realities of middle-class 1940s life, embodying the helpful neighbor archetype who understands the frustrations of maintaining a house and a furnace in the face of harsh Midwestern winters. His small, humorous appearance provided a playful, self-aware nod to his primary involvement behind the camera, highlighting his personal connection to the story and his affection for the source material. Bob Clark had a prolific and highly diverse career in film directing projects across numerous genres, including the horror film Black Christmas and the raunchy comedy Porky's, demonstrating immense versatility. Sadly, Bob Clark passed away on April 4, 2007 at the age of 67 due to a car accident, a tragedy that also claimed the life of his son. His vision and commitment were instrumental in bringing Gene Shepard's nostalgic, chaotic, and heartwarming childhood story to life, ensuring the film's lasting legacy as a holiday staple. Teddy Moore played Miss Shields, Ralphie Parker's schoolteacher, a figure of strict traditional authority who was simultaneously central to Ralphie's imaginative, often exaggerated fantasy sequences, starring in the unforgettable film A Christmas Story, 1983. Moore was 42 years old when she took on the iconic role. Miss Shields was characterized by her severe professionalism, her traditional 1940s schoolmarm demeanor, and her unwavering adherence to the academic rules, but she possessed an underlying stern sense of fairness. Her life was defined by the rigorous demands of teaching in the American public school system during the 1940s, a position of unquestioned authority that established her as a formidable gatekeeper of conventional wisdom, particularly the wisdom that you'll shoot your eye out. Miss Shields' role was absolutely central to Ralphie's holiday quest, as she was one of the key authority figures he attempted to convince of the necessity of the Red Ryder BB gun. She became a recurring figure in his richly detailed daydreams, where she would dramatically praise him for his essay, or more often sternly scold him over his dangerous Christmas wish, highlighting the stark contrast between his hopeful imagination and the discouraging reality. Teddy Moore, currently 84, has had a long and consistent career in Canadian film and television. Her enduring portrayal of Miss Shields perfectly captured the stern, sometimes slightly intimidating authority figure of childhood that nonetheless held the power to shape dreams and dash hopes with a single stroke of red pen. Gary Jones portrayed a Christmas shopper, a character who appeared during the bustling, often frenetic holiday shopping sequences in the department stores and on the streets, starring in the film A Christmas Story, 1983. Jones was 32 years old when he took on the cameo role. The Christmas shopper was characterized by his hurried activity, his expression of impatience, and his full immersion in the overwhelming rush of consumers frantically searching for gifts, embodying the chaotic commercial energy and high expectations of the holiday season. His life was defined by the economic realities of the 1940s and the intense societal pressure to acquire the perfect gifts for family members, establishing him as a typical, often stressed member of the consuming public, whose hurried, anxious movements added a layer of visual stress and palpable excitement to the retail environment. His brief cameo added significantly to the lively, realistic depiction of the season's chaos, particularly in scenes like the trip to the department store to queue up and see Santa Claus, which effectively underscored the intense commercial focus of Christmas as experienced by Ralphie. Gary Jones, currently 74, has had a long and steady career in acting, becoming particularly well known for his later comedic roles in science fiction television, most notably as Sergeant Walter Harriman in the Stargate SG-1 series. His small role in A Christmas Story contributed effectively to the film's detailed and humorous portrayal of the collective shared frenzy of the pre-Christmas consumer experience, making the setting feel genuinely alive. Catherine Hazer played a churchgoer, a character who appeared in the background of the solemn yet slightly chaotic Christmas pageant scenes at the local church, starring in the unforgettable holiday film A Christmas Story, 1983. Hazer was 36 years old when she took on the minor but atmospherically essential role. The churchgoer was characterized by her participation in the traditional community holiday events, representing the broader religious and formal aspects of the 1940s Christmas celebration that stood in sharp contrast to the consumer-driven chaos and domestic disorder of the Parker household. Her life was firmly rooted in the traditional Christian values and strong community involvement, typical of the Midwestern American setting during the 1940s, establishing her as a figure who represented the formal established social and spiritual fabric of the town, highlighting the importance of communal and spiritual devotion during the holiday season. Though her role was extremely brief and non-speaking, she contributed profoundly to building the authentic holiday atmosphere of the film, providing a sense of place piety in time that significantly enhanced the nostalgic realism of the film's period setting. Catherine Hazer, currently 78, has maintained a career in supporting roles, often lending her presence and authenticity to period pieces and character-driven projects in Canadian and American film. Her brief appearance, along with the other community members participating in the pageant, helped to fully flesh out the visual environment surrounding Ralphie's world, ensuring that the film's detailed depiction of Christmas in the 1940s was rich and detailed beyond the immediate focus on the Parker family's domestic struggles and personal triumphs. Leslie Carlson played the Christmas Tree Man, a minor but highly memorable character who appeared during the chaotic annual family tradition of shopping for their holiday tree, starring in the unforgettable film A Christmas Story, 1983. Carlson was 47 years old when he took on the brief but highly character-driven role. The Christmas Tree Man was characterized by his gruff, slightly jaded demeanor, typical of a pragmatic seasonal worker resignedly dealing with the immense pressures and overly sentimental expectations of the busy Christmas retail season. His life was defined by the cyclical labor of seasonal work, or perhaps a steady career in sales, and retail establishing him as a pragmatic figure whose focus was strictly on the financial transaction and the quick turnover of inventory, contrasting humorously and sharply with the profound emotional nostalgic significance the Parker family placed on selecting the perfect idealized holiday tree. His role added a crucial touch of deadpan humor and a grounded realism to the family's seasonal preparations, underscoring the universal, slightly absurd reality of the Christmas shopping rush, where the ideal often meets the practical and commercial. Carlson's portrayal was effective in capturing the exhausted, resigned nature of someone whose job required him to interact with overly demanding customers, obsessed with achieving an unattainable level of holiday perfection. Leslie Carlson had a long and steady career as a respected character actor, particularly known for his roles in Canadian and American genre films and television series, often playing figures with quiet authority or world-weary cynicism, lending authenticity to every brief appearance. Sadly, Leslie Carlson passed away on May 3rd in 2014 at the age of 77 due to complications arising from brain cancer. His brief yet resonant appearance contributed meaningfully to the film's detailed and humorous tapestry of everyday characters that color Ralphie's deeply cherished, nostalgic world. Yano Anaya played Grover Dill, the perpetually nervous, slightly weedy sidekick, and fellow bully to the neighborhood terror, Scut Farkus, starring in the unforgettable holiday film A Christmas Story, 1983. Anaya was 11 years old when he took on the supporting role. Grover Dill was characterized by his passive yet necessary participation in the bullying activities orchestrated by Farkus. He rarely initiated the violence, but was always present, standing silently alongside his leader, providing a crucial visual dynamic that amplified the menace of the main antagonist. His life before the film was typical of a young boy struggling to find his place in the neighborhood hierarchy, establishing him as a follower who clung to the power structure for protection and status, a common, slightly pathetic figure in the social landscape of childhood. Grover Dill's character added a crucial element of comic menace, as his nervous energy and subservience often undercut the genuine fear inspired by Farkus, making the bullying duo both frightening and slightly absurd. His role was instrumental in defining the social tension that plagued Ralphie and his friends on their walk to and from school. Yano Anaya, currently 53, has remained associated with his role in the perennial Christmas classic, occasionally appearing at fan conventions. His portrayal perfectly captured the essence of the cowardly henchman, serving as the necessary lieutenant to the neighborhood's chief tyrant and amplifying the danger that Ralphie and his friends face daily. Julie Matthews played a caroler, a character who appeared in the festive neighborhood scenes symbolizing the traditional musical and communal spirit of Christmas, starring in the unforgettable nostalgic film A Christmas Story, 1983. Matthews was 29 years old when she took on the minor but atmospherically significant role. The caroler was characterized by her participation in the beloved tradition of singing traditional Christmas songs, door to door, representing the simpler shared joys and musical customs of the 1940s holiday season that provided a warm backdrop to Ralphie's domestic struggles. Her life was firmly rooted in the local community traditions and long-standing social rituals, typical of the era, likely involving participation in local choral groups or church activities, establishing her as a figure who embodied the nostalgic, warm, and musical aspects of Christmas that contrasted sharply with the Parker family's more chaotic, consumer-driven holiday struggles. Though her role was minor and largely atmospheric, she contributed significantly to capturing the essential traditional spirit of Christmas, adding a crucial layer of authenticity and warmth to the neighborhood setting, particularly during the scenes depicting the serene winter snow and the general spirit of holiday cheer. Julie Matthews, currently 71, has maintained a steady career in supporting roles, often lending her presence and genuine character to period pieces and ensemble scenes across Canadian and American productions. Her appearance was instrumental in enriching the sensory details of the Christmas season, as experienced by Ralphie, ensuring that the film's nostalgic setting felt complete and extending the focus beyond the immediate confines of the Parker household into the surrounding, idealized community life. Her performance helped to solidify the film's reputation as a detailed, loving portrait of a bygone era. Who's your favorite character from A Christmas Story? It's always tough to say goodbye to beloved cast members who are no longer with us. How does that make you feel? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you're enjoying our content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated. We appreciate having you in our community.